Okay. Folks, where are you right now? Are you in Queens? You coming back from your aunt's house? Let's go downtown. Let's go to the Science Center. You bring your camera with you? I hope you do. Let's try to impress that redhead. And here you go. Take some photos. And what is that coming from the ceiling? It's a radioactive Skullet. And now you've got ultimate Skullet powers. But this isn't about you. It's about me. I'm the Skullet Spider. Welcome to the Skullet Podcast. Our guest to my right is none other than hilarious comedian Zivan Vasquez.
Hello. Hi.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I appreciated the intro that spoke to me. It spoke to my origin story, actually.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on these intros, and I made this one specifically for you, our comic book friend over here.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I do have a lot of comic books. I was actually just thinking about what I'm gonna do with all of them the other day because it's starting to become overwhelming looking at them in my room. Just like this constant reminder of how much money I no longer have. It's sometimes, yeah, it can be very harrowing a little bit.
I'm imagining like your room getting smaller and smaller as the stacks get higher and higher, and just kind of like, this was 9 by 10, but now it's getting closer to 5 by 5.
Yeah, we had like a 2-bedroom, half bath, and now it's a half Zivan, all comics. Just, oh God.
Your bed is just comic books with a blanket thrown over top of it?
Honestly, there have been times. When I was like organizing them one time, I had them everywhere, and I was like, I gotta sleep on the couch. I can't, this is gonna take... This needs one other person to help me out.
What is it about comic books? If you could try to, say like, what was it that really captured a young Zivan's imagination?
Well, I mean, with like superhero stuff, I feel like that doesn't, that kind of goes without saying. Like, it's just pretty cool. Like, it's pretty dope. I think especially most, young boys, they really dig that stuff. And then when I was in like high school, middle school, I would always stop at the bookstore to like just not have to go home immediately, and then I would like collect. I would like sit and read the graphic novels there, but it was always like collections. And then when I got to college, I for the first time ever was like within walking distance of a comic book store, and I was like, oh well, I don't know anybody in Pittsburgh. I'm trying to figure out where shit is, and so I would go there every week, and then I made friends with the guys, and then they would make recommendations, and $3,100 later, here we are. So
it became your safe haven. It became your fortress of solitude, if you will.
Yes, my bat cave, my Daily Bugle, my I don't know, wherever Daredevil goes, I don't know, jail. Yeah.
Listen, I don't care if you're blind listening to this. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, okay? Have someone guide your little fingers and and give us a nice review.
Your little unseeing fingers.
I mean, there's a highly sensitive fingers, okay?
Yeah, the heightened fingers that you have.
No matter how many senses you have, get some common sense and rate, review, and subscribe. Everyone who gives us a nice review, I will send a sticker to, and I will send a personalized note. Okay, I will get your address. You'll send me the address, but I know it anyway, and I'll send you a note. And please, for the love of God, it helps us a lot.
And we do notes in Braille now, so.
Ooh,
hey, pretty good.
That would actually be pretty. That would be very impressive. But yeah, that's basic. And then I worked at the comic book store for a little bit, and that was really cool. I still get.
I don't know if I would describe that as cool, folks. Here we go. All right, first time. I got a napkin. I'm throwing it at you.
We're doing napkin throwing now. I see. This is why I don't tune in. Because I hear that Ronnie abuses his guests, and I'm just like, I can't watch this shit.
I like that comic book store that you were. Is it the same comic book?
It's the same one. Yeah, like Phantom of the Attic. Yeah, it's a cool spot. They're nice.
We're a little bit late for Christmas, but I wanted to give you a little gift.
Oh, nice.
There you go, man.
Should I open it here?
Yeah, of course. This is Skullet Christmas. We celebrate year round, and we have our own personalized Zivan ornament.
Very not. Yeah, I like this. I'm an oil diffuser. Oh, for a second I thought that was something I said a lot. Like, is that my catchphrase? Like, Zivan. Hey, guess who I am? I'm an oil diffuser. No, this is nice. I like how it makes me look kind of like that, like the chick from Incredibles, Edna Mode. I look like I'm like, no capes. No, it's good. I like this. How did you? You know what? I won't ask. I won't ask how you got this. How
Good.
you?
Well, I'll tell you anyway. It's Tim's sister makes these little Skullet ornaments. That's me.
Oh, I
and
recognize
that's
these.
Tim. So we have we've created an ongoing thing where all of our guests get a little Skullet ornament.
That's actually fantastic. That's a really. I'm very. Wait. So how is it an oil diffuser though? Do you? Oh wait. Add a few drops. It has an explanation. Add a few drops of your favorite essential oil. Well, I do actually have a favorite. Sorry.
Which one is it?
Oh, easy. Eucalyptus mint. That's like my favorite.
Clears the sinuses. Kills dogs, apparently.
Does it actually? Oh god.
Oh shit! We should get one for the house. Well, we're very excited to have you, Zivan. Zivan's a very funny comedian by way of Houston.
That is correct.
Now
yes.
lives in Pittsburgh. Winner of the the first ever Pittsburgh One-Liner Madness competition.
That's me. That is me.
You just wrote about that recently in your Substack.
Oh, yes. Shameless plug. Please subscribe to the Vast Squeeze, which is play off of my name, Vasquez. Anyways, I did not need to explain that. That was...
He actually did.
Well, it's like, this guy likes lemons, I guess. No, I did write about it in my Substack. It was a very pivotal time for me. That was like a big turning point. That's when it all started.
Do you mean that?
I mean, kind of yes and no. It was like... it's like this big competition and it puts you in front of a bunch of people, including your peers. And,
sure.
There's like this, you did this really impressive thing in front of a bunch of people. And that, kind of made an impact, I guess.
Yeah, I remember you training for it. I mean, you were really taking it seriously. You had your notebooks and stuff. Every time I went to SCAF, you're there. Like, I think you might have even had them a whiteboard too.
I think I may have. Yeah, I was starting to organize all of them. Yeah, I mean, I took it pretty seriously. It's like comedy is such a ambiguous thing, right? Where it's like, different audiences, different stages, whatever. But here's like an example of like, here I can make it into like a video game, and there's like a winning and there's a losing, and like, I don't know, it like activated like a, I can be a very competitive person for the most part, and that really came out when I did that thing. So, yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, the One-Liner Madness competition, you can probably describe it better than me. I'm thinking numbers right now, like 126, 106. How many comedians is it? But it's a bracketed style competition where each comic goes one-on-one, and then ultimately there's a winner, right? But there's about 7 rounds, something like that.
I think so. Yeah. And it's when I would explain it to people, they would think that it's like you have one joke, like one-liner, and you like carry it, you just like repeat it over and over, which would be, because there's no rules against that. That would be insane. If someone
every time you did it with a different accent.
It's like he had like a wardrobe or something. Oh, actually, of this year, 2024, fourth place. No, I don't need to mention. There was a guy who dressed like a deer. My friend Leon Lee.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He did all of his. They were all deer themed jokes, and really, I mean, it should have gone to him. To be honest,
I disagree. But I do appreciate the commitment. Absolutely. I was also involved in the competition. I was a referee, and boy, oh boy, do people not like the job that I did. It was my job to figure out if something is specifically a one-liner. So it's 3 sentences. Mm-hmm. You can't do any more than 3 sentences. I got a little whistle, and man, I did not want to blow that whistle at all. And I got off stage, and I got so much shit for it.
Yeah, there was a lot of contention. I remember it's.
Yeah. Actually, you probably would know better than me. Like,
well, not on my end. I was happy with the decisions he made, but I wasn't about to step on any toes. Well, but that's the thing. I mean, like a one-liner is really just like it's a setup, punchline, and then maybe a tag. Like it's one sentence, another sentence, and then maybe a little dressing. But yeah, there were a couple of people who relaxed the definitions a
Listen,
little bit.
I mean, I don't know if something's a sentence, or maybe they're using a semicolon, I was an English major, so I'm actually really looking forward, like, is that a sentence or not? No one's sending me a printed thing.
Yeah, clauses and stuff.
Yeah, an umlaut, who knows, man?
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea.
It's a semicolon.
I was an English major, didn't say I graduated.
Word.
But yeah, actually that was a tough one because there was my girlfriend at the time and current girlfriend was in the competition. The only person I whistled blow was against her because the person who was going against her went like about 7 sentences. So basically, the fix was in, okay?
Yeah.
I was making sure my baby girl was going to advance.
You were cooking the books a little bit. Yeah, my baby girl.
We'll cut that, Tim.
Oh, speaking of which, I did see that movie, Baby Girl, with Nicole Kidman.
Oh,
Nicole
yeah?
Kidman?
Did you get a little boner in the movie theater?
Well, not that little. But boner in the movie.
Good old nickel kidney.
Yeah, that's right.
Try again, Tim. All right.
Well, I saw it. I saw it with 3 friends of mine, and you know, my friends were like, afterwards they were like, man, it's like it was so kind of awkward that it was like just the 3 of us, and I remember thinking like, dude, there could have been 15 of us, and it would still have been the most awkward movie going experience. Do you know what it's about? Do you know what this movie's about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you don't know, dear listener, basically, I'll just give you the spark notes.
Please do. Our listeners are very uncultured.
Yeah, they're uncorked and horny. Basically, it's like Nicole Kidman plays a CEO of a robotics company. Think like kind of like Amazon-ish.
And that got Zivan horny.
Yeah, and I was like, already. I'm like, at the moment, yeah, there's like an opening
Go
sequence.
gadget boner.
Yeah, with the factory. I'm like, oh God, I can't do this. But yeah, so she plays the CEO, and the twist or whatever is that she's never had an orgasm with her husband. She's never like finished, and she has all this like sexual repression. But then she meets an intern, and the intern basically wants to like do this like dom sub thing with her, and so she's the quote unquote baby girl. And so the whole thing is like about power dynamics, and she's much older than him, but he does have power, but maybe he doesn't, and then like how does that affect her marriage? And it's you know, I would say it's gripping, but only because, you know, maybe like literally it's gripping, but besides that, it was kind of it was right there, low hanging fruit,
Hanging balls.
low hanging balls. That's right, fruit of the loom.
Yeah, especially Antonio Banderas, that old man can't get his wife to have an orgasm.
That is the one part. The whole movie.
That man is Puss in Boots. You tell me that guy can't get it
Literally,
going?
yeah, he's got the puss in the boots. It's like, that was the one part of the movie where
You can't come to Zorro. I'm sorry.
something is wrong with you. Yeah, they should have picked I don't know.
The dad from Spy Kids?
And you know what? That role is one of his hotter roles. Everybody in that movie is weird. Who's the guy who plays his wife in that movie?
In Spy Kids?
In Spy Kids.
I don't know.
I remember having the biggest crush on her growing up. She was insanely beautiful.
Look that up, Tim.
Yeah, pull that up. Pull that up.
Yeah.
Tim is actually a giant iPad that floats in the Carla Gugino.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Gugino.
Oh no, I can't think of anything else she did. Oh, Danny Trejo was in that movie.
Okay.
I remember that being pretty cool.
George Clooney was in it.
Yes. Yeah. And then, honestly, kind of a star-studded cast.
Oh, she's in Sin City?
Yes, she was in Sin City.
As what?
I think she was Sin. I think she was.
Oh, damn.
That's who she was. She was Mrs. Sin.
Yeah, you know, Bruce Willis is in that movie. He doesn't remember it.
In Sin. Oh yeah, I think doesn't he play the main guy?
He plays one of the main guys.
Yeah. That's a great. If you want to talk about graphic novels,
It is good.
Frank Miller.
Bruce Willis, by the way, he can't remember things anymore.
Yes, famously. Yeah.
All right, everyone got the joke, but this one didn't work. Okay, cool. All right, moving along. But it was good. You liked it. I just watched Night Bitch. You see Night Bitch?
I remember you telling me that as you tucked me into bed.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was a
little
movie.
Night Bitch. By the way, that reminds me.
Why does he keep talking to me like this?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Solid movie about motherhood. You can totally relate to it. It was nice.
Well, you know, there's a maternal. We all have them. We all got moms. We all understand something about it. Mm-hmm. It's do you ever imagine? I won't ask you if you want to be a parent because that's like a loaded question. But more like, do you ever imagine yourself like, what would it be like if I was like a dad? Like, what would that day to day be like? Do you feel like you'd be good at it?
Yeah. I try to imagine myself as a father.
But more as a daddy. Right?
More of a, I'm definitely more of as a baby boy.
As a baby boy.
But no, I think I could see myself becoming a dad, you know? I just did a show in West Virginia, and everyone said I had dad shoes. So
Dad shoes.
I mean, not these. These are clearly a young man's shoes. But,
Right. Those are
no, I
bachelor pads.
actually, speaking of this West Virginia shoes, I did the show in West Virginia. Watched a bunch of young boys about your age, and I actually got this. This has come up twice, and so I've been, I do the Skullet material. This is the Skullet podcast, of course, and I got a new reference. The acting teacher from Victorious.
Looked like you?
Yes.
Wow. Interesting.
Have you seen Victorious?
I have seen Victorious.
Does that track?
Well, I don't. Like the guy who plays the acting teacher.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think it does.
Psychowitz.
Oh shit! Yeah, there he is, and that is you. Yeah, I see it. You could actually pull off specifically. You guys can't see it, but specifically what he's wearing right there, the like scarf and the kind of multicolored. You should wear stuff like that.
I am thinking about bringing a coconut on stage with me.
I think that would bring things together for you. Yeah. But you have done have you done dramatic acting before, or has it just been sketch or improv, or you ever been in like a movie or?
I have been in a movie. Straight on Till Morning. Check it out, kids. I don't think you can find it anywhere. But I did play like the comedic role in like a more dramatic movie.
Would you ever consider doing like a more dramatic role in something?
Totally, yeah.
Word. Okay. Who are some of your, like your sort of Mount Rushmore of actors? Like if I could be an actor, I'd want to be like them or as good as them, or,
Well, Kevin Spacey was always my guy.
Word.
Is that
a picture of him peeking out of your pocket right now? It's the
not
the
so much him
Polaroid.
as an actor, more like as a
person.
humanitarian. No, but that is true. Spacey was like I loved his stuff. Like like he had a bunch of movies like in sequence that were just like unbelievable in the 90s.
Yeah, he was kind of hit after hit. Yeah.
And obviously, like your De Niro's and stuff. I'm trying to think if there's any other actors that I was like, that was like.
Is there anybody right now? I mean, obviously, well, Kevin Spacey is alive. He's not really making, but you know what I mean? Is there anybody like more contemporary that you kind of, anybody
Who
on
comes
TV
to mind right
or
now?
Someone I could see today?
I'll have to think about it. I'm not sure right now.
Word.
Do you like somebody?
Do I like anybody? Do I like any sort of actor? Well, I don't think too much about what actors are doing. I feel like it's all very silly. But growing up, I guess I like Jim Carrey.
Sure.
But I mean, obviously, he's more of like a comic actor. But I always liked Jim Carrey because he's so like bendy. You know what I mean? Like that's basically. I always just thought that was dope. How bendy he was. And obviously he's funny and stuff, but he just I mean, literally, I guess in The Mask, but I like anybody, maybe that's what it is. I like any actor who is just really like physically involved with what they're doing. Like, I think Seth Rogen is really funny, but like, I don't think he's as funny as Bill Hader because Bill Hader is more like bouncy and like does stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I like physical actors. I don't, that's the most attractive thing to me.
Do you ever watch like any like old school, like, I mean, black and white?
Like Buster Keaton and shit?
Yeah.
I should probably educate myself more, but that stuff like that is like, wow. Like I can't even imagine doing something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that stuff is like, I mean, I'm sure you can find like, I don't know, like if it'd be worth it or even you have the attention span to actually go through the entire movie or something, but there's definitely like highlight reels of like just like the incredible shit that like Buster Keaton was doing, like with live motion and stuff, and trains and just like the choreography of things.
Oh yeah, the front of the barn falling down is just like that. I mean, stuff like that is just so. Yeah, it really makes you. Oh, you know what? I saw a movie recently. Have you seen Smile or Smile 2? So my friends and we watched Smile 2, which you don't really need to see Smile to understand Smile 2. They explain everything. It's fine. Very gentle movie in that way. But the main character played by Naomi Scott, who has kind of been in stuff. She played Jasmine in Aladdin. Really, really, really amazing actress. But she is just like, acting her butt off the entire time, and she's like screaming and wailing and yanking her hair out and, you know, like breaking shit and throwing things. And like, to me, that's like, wow, I wish I could do that.
You don't think you can?
Well, not on camera, but you know, yeah, maybe there's a mental block. I don't know. Maybe I really want to do that and I can't.
I was in a play once, and my acting director was a real asshole, but he thought I was too stiff, right? It was a weird thing where I didn't really even plan on being in this play, and somehow I was like, I'm in a play now, and I kind of was just like, I was a narrator or something, but he got so mad at me for being like stiff. He made me lay on the ground and cry like a baby.
Stomach first or butt first?
Butt first. I'm like, Wah!
Oh, wow.
He showed me how to do it, and then I did it, and it was sort of like it felt a little bit like a humiliation, you know, like look at him, like I'm going to make you do this in front of everybody.
Yeah, look what I can make you do.
Exactly, yeah. He was a very short man, but but I also think that there's something to that too.
I think so. I think that's the one thing I miss about improv is, you know, it does kind of put you in your body. And also, like, before you even get on stage, there's all these like games you play and things you do where it's like you get in touch with yourself and you get in touch with your fellow improvisers, and it's a very like embodied art form. And sometimes with stand-up, I'm just like, God, I feel like I'm like a teleprompter up there. I'm just beep, 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 beep. And so it would be nice to return to the flesh.
Well, I think there's something too about cool, right? So there's nothing cool about being like physical.
Yeah. There is something cool?
No.
There's nothing cool.
I don't think it's cool. But I think that's maybe what makes it more interesting, and kind of like, I'm going to be so outrageous and silly and stuff that's like, that person doesn't care what other people think in a way.
That's true. I mean, it's sort of, well, but you think about like the most famous, well, arguably, like, okay, like whatever you want to say, most famous, Mr. Bean is like literally universally beloved. And that's because he doesn't really have to say anything. I mean, he kind of goes, you know, like trigonometry, but like, that's it. You don't even need to know anything. And he's just like up there, you know, having a fit. And that's, to me, I mean, that's just as sophisticated and takes as much skill as, you know, George Carlin or Richard Pryor or you know, any modern day, you know, talking head kind of comic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's something to it.
You know who's a big Mr. Bean fan?
Who?
Learn More.
Really?
He's as big as influence as Mr. Bean.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That actually makes perfect sense. Yeah. I mean, if I was growing up in Zimbabwe, I would probably also be into Mr. Bean. But, you know, alas.
Real sliding door scenario where Zivan is born in Zimbabwe.
And Learn More is still, it's still Learn More, if he's anywhere. I think the accent is genetic at this point. I think that's just how he sounds.
Comic books. I don't know if you've read the news or just listened to it, but old Mark Zuckerberg has been he thinks Facebook. He went on Joe Rogan recently,
True,
and he says that Facebook needs to get more masculine. Have you heard this?
Oh gosh, yes. And I think I even watched. I'm on a.
What is this? Uh oh. You're on a what?
I'm on a subreddit. I've said it like I have some sort of disease, but. No, I'm on a subreddit called Singularity, and it does AI news, and I watched like a 4-minute clip from that podcast, so I kind of know a little bit about what he's talking about. Masculine though, more masculine.
Yeah, I think there's something about getting into jujitsu that turns you into. Makes you go full all right. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's something about
rolling around with other men makes you be like really concerned about trans issues.
Yeah, exactly. It's maybe you should learn how to grapple with his misogyny instead. That's the real thing. Get on the floor with your homophobia. No, he's I don't know. He's got that weird, because I remember when he had because he has that new haircut, right? Where he does.
Yeah, he looks kind of like I don't know, like he's turning into a mutant of some sort.
Yeah, he does. Well, because his first haircut, if you remember, was like the really short, really straight
like
bangs.
A bowl cut kind of thing.
Yeah, and that always reminded me of, oh Christ. Yeah. Oof. Jeez Louise.
He's grappling with something. I don't know.
He's changed since this.
No, he definitely has. That was before he went into the containment unit and got bombarded with.
He's a clone now.
Yeah, basically. But he kind of had that like straight haircut, and that always reminded me of you know those like busts of Caesar
Yes.
You know how like it has like the really straight.
Yeah, it was a Caesar cut for sure.
Yeah, there was a Caesar cut, and then now he has the like kind of long curls, and that almost feels like he's like a weird. There's something very Roman about this guy. I don't know how to put it. There's something very, wannabe centurion about Mark Zuckerberg that is very fascinating to me.
So we've come up with some 5 ways to make Facebook more masculine.
It's exciting.
Okay, first, instead of the poke feature, we've got a chest bump /
Very
on my
good.
finger.
That's pretty good.
It's maybe more of an uncle feature. I'm not really totally sure here. You're no longer allowed to have unlimited friends, only like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And one of them is your girlfriend. Deleting relationship status. Come on, why do you keep asking me that? Actually, I've only got 4. I came up with 4. And then one is the deleting the memories feature. No looking back.
Only
true alphas
forward.
only look forward.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. I'm trying to think of because do they still call it a timeline now? It's like if it's just like I don't know, like a cork board at a bar or something, and there's just like it's all just bands that you want to start. God, I don't know. It's starting to go down the drain. I mean, do you ever, as a comic, kind of lament the fact that like part of our job is having to be involved with these just like horrible institutions of social media? I mean, we kind of have to sort of be on the ground floor all the time.
Do I lament it?
Well, I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to lament it at all. I
don't. I've kind of come to terms with the fact that, like, life is a gray area, and I'm just like nothing more than a strange grifter who's trying to find his way into people's hearts and minds, no matter what, Right. And eventually I'll die. But in the meantime, it's just a fun little game that I'm playing, and the game's rigged for sure.
That's
but
true.
Don't worry, the Skullet will rise. Or I'll die in a gutter somewhere.
That's funny because I feel the exact same way, Skullet and all. No, I don't know. I feel like it's like social media is one of those things where you kind of have to do it on your own terms. Like you have to be really like maybe that's the masculine part of me is like I have to grab the social media by the balls and I have to be like, no, this is how much time I'm spending on you. This is I'm in control of this right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
It's a crazy visual. I can't wait for us to be really good at animation to make you just grabbing balls. I will do this.
It's an F logo with some ball sack. And just like, no, you're mine. Oh, gosh.
Do you think you're on there too much?
I was gonna say that's very Jim Carrey. Like he did. Like you were animated right there.
That's true.
Very
Look at
Jim
that.
Carrey. Very hater. It was nice.
Very Hederian. Very Carrey-esque. Well, that's, if I'm talking
I've never had to look up words so much on a podcast and when Zivan's on.
Carrey-esque? I think you just made that up.
I'm lost, dude.
What's this
Tim
guy
is
talking
lost,
about?
by the way. All right, let's just give a little Tim update. Tim has been first off, he's been killing it lately with all the reels and stuff. He's producer extraordinaire, and now he's also trying to be Mr. Tim Allen over here. Not as comedy, but as far as like home improvement style.
As far as selling cocaine, that's my Tim Allen that I'm doing.
Could be
This
good.
guy knows his history. I'm so sorry. I just saw how proud you were of it. I saw the idea come in your head and click it. So I'm sorry. I had to burn you. This guy's been calling me Mr. Hollywood because I don't know how to paint a wall. I know how to paint a wall. He didn't ask me to do it. That's the thing. He never asked me. He asked his brother-in-law. I get there. He's like, yeah, we're doing real fucking man work, Mr. Hollywood. I'm like, you could have asked, but I guess you didn't think I wanted to bend a finger. Anyway, this place needs a lot of work. I don't know if you remember coming in. It's a real... Tim's crying. There's a real Home Alone style booby trap into getting into this fucking house.
Tarantulas in the bathtub.
Wait to build up to tear down. He's like producer extraordinaire, and then he just like turns immediately heel turn.
No honor.
Please don't turn your mic off as you're laughing, Tim. Christ almighty, all right?
You can hear my laugh in your mics.
Okay.
It's too loud if it's in mine.
It's good. It's good.
Fair
It's
enough.
nice.
I'm just saying, I'm going to sound like this rant has been bombing the last 5 minutes.
Can't have that.
But yeah, but Tim's been doing a lot, and Tim does this thing where he'll put a lot on his plate, and then he would go very quickly. He will go crazy.
That makes sense.
So we're
seem
worried
the
about
type.
Tim over here. So this might be the last podcast ever. Maybe this doesn't come out. This is a real message in a bottle that we're putting out.
We were on the 40th Street Bridge coming here, and it was icy as all hell, and he was just like, yeah, and I just feel like I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown.
That's what you want to hear when you're crossing a bridge.
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
like, all right.
So this is actually, we're not even recording, Tim. This is we're here. This is your intervention. We're here for your own good.
Gosh, stressed out, I'm sure. Oh man. What are you probably most anxious about day to day? What's like the thing that really like
Wow, this is a heavy question.
yeah.
I'm most anxious about day to day.
Yeah, let's cut the shit. Let's ask how you really feel about.
I don't know that I'm actually very anxious lately.
That's good.
I think something about growing out my hair, things have been just working out lately. I don't know, like not getting the things done that I need to do. And it's like I feel like my whole like week kind of leads up to the weekend. And then once it's over, it's like, cool. And then afterwards you just stack a bunch of stuff again. And then you kind of get it through done or not.
Cool. Okay. All right.
Fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's nothing like overridingly anxious. Like,
Then what's like the most petty thing, like the tiniest thing that makes you like kind of anxious?
every Monday I don't eat for 24 hours.
Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I'm part
Or
of a
it
test.
just works out that way. Like, oh, damn it, again.
I'm part of a test study, so like,
Right.
I just basically don't eat for 24 hours every Monday,
and then
and they test my glucose and stuff. But it's like, it's becoming annoying more or less than anything else. Now, okay, money.
money.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
How am I get? That's the thing every month. I'm like, how am I gonna get? Pay the rent, pay the bills and stuff.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, same deal. What I get really anxious about specifically is when I'm like about to leave the house, making sure I have everything on me.
Yeah.
But then I get really anxious if I have too many things on me. Like if I'm at a place and I have my backpack, but then I have a coat, a jacket, a sweater, a shirt. Like it's something. Maybe it's because I'm from the South, but I just do not like having to have all this stuff on me.
Yeah.
And so no matter what I do, I'm just like, well, but if I take it all off, then I'll leave it somewhere, and that happens all the time. Like I'll lose stuff. But then if I don't have it, then I'm just like miserable at the bus stop, and it's like, how do I just can't. It's very difficult to. I toss and turn in my sleep a lot. I talk a lot in my sleep. It's very difficult for me to like get physically comfortable in like a space. That's like a tough thing for
I feel
me.
like it's different than the other thing.
Oh, well, I'm going to pretend like they're all connected in some way, but
Well, I mean, this is just your thing is I feel like I relate to that as when I was a commuter.
mm-hmm.
So when I was in New York, that was the thing. I'm leaving the house. I'm not coming back. So I need to have my gear with me. I need to have, what if I'm too hot in this space? What if I'm too cold?
Oh, I brought entire costume changes just because I'm like, I don't know what it's going to be like there.
Right. No, socks. I need socks.
Yep.
I need water. Like there's what if I poop and I need, and it's like I need
And
wipes.
I need to blame it on someone. I need an alibi. I need a
paper bag to throw it at somebody.
Tupperware. I got
Gotta save it for later. Microwave it.
Because money's so tight, right? Oh man, what am I going to do? It's this constant juggling of things that is just so like hard to.
But I also understand the idea of tossing and turning. Like for me, it's like the weather, like at home, it's like the temperature's got to be right.
Yep.
And then it's like, if I didn't drink enough water, my balls feel weird. Like it's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, I have felt them. I'm like, have you been drinking enough? Ronnie, don't lie to me. Come on, let's.
He's taking it by the balls.
I'm like, yeah, I guess I know when you've only had orange juice. Come on. These are orange juice balls.
These balls are dehydrated.
Yeah, let's get you some Voss.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I do. I've always talked in my sleep a lot. I don't know if you've ever done that. If that's
No.
That's I'll tell you what a really specific anxiety I have is when I'm falling asleep. That's when I'm like talking the most, like kind of like between sleeping and waking. And I'm always worried that I'm gonna like as I'm falling asleep, like say some horrible, incriminating thing as I'm like falling, and I won't know that I did it. And then I'll wake up to someone being like, "Hey, what the hell was that all about? Like, what do you mean you?"
Has this happened before?
Never anything like that would get me in trouble. But I mean, I remember my girlfriend would always be like, "What's an eigenvalue?" When I woke up, and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "You just as you're going to sleep, you just talk about eigenvalues and stuff." I'm like, "Oh well." I mean, that's the other woman, and she's very beautiful, and I don't want to. I'm leaving you. Actually, that's who eigenvalue is. But no, I do talk a lot in my sleep, and also just to myself. It's kind of,
I've seen you talk to yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Have I heard it? Yes, I've heard it, of course.
Ah, damn it. Okay. That's whatever. I got, buy the ticket, take the ride. That's just who I am,
What the
I
fuck
guess.
does that mean?
I just, I just buy the ticket, take the ride. It's boom, punch, turnstile. That's
I still don't get it.
That's the stuff he says to himself. It's like insanity. I can value buy the ticket.
I kind of get it, but I also I'm curious if it's like you're operating at a different level. You're a physicist.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I'm riding in planes unseen. It's just who I am, floating on the clouds. You don't talk to yourself though?
No.
Damn. I can't. So it's just all up here.
If there's anything happening up there at all. Damn. I'm in the moment, baby. I'm feeling things. Yeah.
I'm touching, I'm sniffing, I'm moving. I'm
more of like this guy, like, ooh, texture,
I'm a real textures guy.
But I'm curious with this, like going from physics to comedy, like what was that? Was that an obvious transition?
Well, I always feel like it's just two things that I like to do. They coexist a little bit. I was talking to my friend about this too. Actually, just the other day, my friend was visiting and we met in college and he was like, well, which do you like better? Like, do you like stand-up better or do you like physics better? And I said, to be honest, I think both of them, same amount of positive emotion, like same amount of like, wow, that felt really good. And I can't believe I did that. And, all these people, blah, blah, blah. But I will say that stand-up probably has more intense negative emotion, like in terms of like how much it will hurt if you bomb versus like how much it will hurt if you get like a bad grade or if you get a question wrong or an experiment doesn't go well. That is like totally dwarfed by what it feels like to eat shit on stage. But yeah, I don't know. I just they both kind of appeal to me, and it's sort of my two favorite things.
Are you more when you write? Because I know math, so much like rules and everything is kind of dependent on rules. Do you look at comedy in that way too, where it's like there's certain things that do kind of work? Is it very rule based for you when you write?
When I'm actually writing, it feels very shooting from the hip. Like I try not to edit on the page as much as possible. I just want to like get the actual kind of concept out and sort of attack. But then I think in retrospect, when I'm on stage and I'm thinking about what I'm saying, it does feel like there's like certain like, it'll occur to me like, oh, it would make more sense to say this here, or like I am building this pattern and I should break it. And when I'm watching other people stand up, I'm very much like, okay, what's like this person's like, I don't know, framework that they're using. But for me, when I'm actually trying to write something, I'm like, I gotta, I can't be too detail oriented because it's too much,
How do comedians compare to physicists?
They're more fun. That should be obvious. They could be, if you ask a physicist to show up to a party, they'll probably show up with food and on time. But if you ask a comedian to show up, it's a little bit less clear if they even like you. But I don't know. It's weird too, because like sometimes I'll be hanging out with comics and I'll want to say something about physics or something about whatever math or something, and it's just like it's read the room. But then if you tell a joke in the laboratory or something, people are like, what do you talk like? They don't even know that you are in a position to be even telling jokes. They're like, that's not even like, it wouldn't even occur to them that someone would be trying to be funny in that space.
Do you think maybe you could use a little Jim Carrey at that moment? I mean, just tip the fact you're telling a joke. You got to make it really big.
Yeah.
Slap your knee a few times. Give it a little, your little bow tie. Yeah.
That could probably help a lot, actually. That could maybe really sell it. Yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes people ask me if I want to like do more like physics comedy, like science, and I don't know. I mean, I know it could be probably pretty lucrative, but I only have so many things to say about leptons, and then I want to get to the real stuff. Yeah.
You mentioned bombing. What's the most recent bomb or most painful bomb that comes to mind right now?
Gosh. Well, I had this show in Uniontown, and
Say no more.
Say no more. Well, yeah. What else? What else is there? It's weird. Like as you probably experience this, like sometimes you don't actually bomb. Sometimes you do get the pops where they should happen, and everybody had a pretty good time, but then you come away from it feeling kind of weird. But this was just like a, you know, God, it was like, it wasn't, what it was like, it was this. I'm sure you've experienced this. It was like you would tell a joke and they would laugh if they laughed. They would laugh just the amount of time that the punchline lasted, if that makes sense. Like you'd say, and that's why, and that's like 3 seconds. And then they would laugh for a corresponding 3 seconds.
Right.
And then they would like not even peter out, like stop completely. And then they would just wait for you. They were almost in a way too polite, where like they would just allow you to say the rest of the joke. And there was no like, you know, like momentum. Like you're trying to like kind of, you want to be doing less work a third of the way in than you were at the first, you know what I mean? Like you want to kind of feel like it's getting easier, but with them, it was like, I was like starting my set from scratch every single time. And I was just like, okay, all right, I just have to like lock in. Cause so I didn't bomb, but it felt hard, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes it feels like they're a studio audience or something. They're just like, I'm laughing when I'm supposed to laugh and stuff.
For
and you're
real.
like, what the fuck is happening? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I will self-sabotage my whole set because I don't like the way that they're responding. They're responding the way they think they're supposed to.
Yeah.
They don't think they're doing anything wrong.
No.
And they're actually having a good time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but I need this to be like weirder.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean. I get a lot of that at, I do a show at Bantha Tea Bar in Friendship.
Check it out, folks.
It's very fun. Actually, the last show was fantastic, but kind of a similar thing where like the audiences are almost too polite. And obviously that's fine. And I love them and I'm glad that they came out. But I do wish it was weirder. I do wish there was more like, she's got a weird laugh and that guy laughed at a weird part of the punchline, or not even the punchline, or you know what I mean? Like you want a little bit more unpredictability because it kind of keeps the whole thing feeling, you know, alive a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of, so that show at Uniontown, it wasn't a bomb, but it was just like, okay, I gotta just like, I have to adjust my expectations about how this is gonna go. And it was fine, you know, got in, got out.
So Zivan, you're a very funny comedian. I'm curious, like you got like, you didn't think you were? Or
No,
you didn't think that I thought you were?
Well, you know, every day I ask myself,
Do you?
yeah, what does Ronnie think?
Me too. Ronnie's actually dead. I've been
Can you come out of his mouth? Like,
I'm curious. What do you got? You thinking future Zivan? What are you thinking? You know,
like what are my?
okay. Actually, well, I know you've been teaching stand up, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
So I guess I kind of fast forwarded myself, but I wanted to go back to that real quick. But just like teaching, like what has teaching taught you about stand up? Actually,
What is teaching taught? Oh gosh.
because I'll be honest, when I was like I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I don't think like when I've been doing it as long as you have, I would have been as comfortable doing it at teaching.
Well, that's the difference between you and me, I guess. You know.
So I was trying to give you a compliment, motherfucker. All right. Sorry. You know what? To be honest, man, find your own goddamn way home. Zivan, the fucking commuter, can't get his own. I'm a big teacher, man, but actually, I don't know why I'm lashing out.
First me, then the guest, Ronnie. Come on.
It's too early in the morning, okay? Mr. Hollywood's upset.
Back to your trailer.
But
Maybe I will.
But yeah, like I would think that teaching probably gives you a different perspective on stand-up as itself, because you know you're teaching, but also you know you're learning while you're doing it. I imagine, right? So how has it made you stronger? You think by teaching?
Well, because I bench press them as I'm talking. No, I think. So when I was in,
And I should also say I do think you're totally qualified to do it.
I appreciate that. I am still on the fence about my own qualifications, but when I was in college, we had this thing where you could be on the improv troupe only after taking the workshop. So it's kind of like a pipeline, right? You would take the workshop for a few weeks, and then, you know, at the end of the week, you would audition, and if you made it, you could get in. And so there was like this really nice way for people to learn improv before they actually got on the troupe. So it was a great system. And so I helped to teach the workshop. And I guess the one thing I kind of learned was people are actually pretty naturally funny on accident, more or less all of the time. Like they don't intend to, but like either in conversation or whatever, like it'll just come out of them. The funny is kind of already there. And so the more time I spent like lecturing them and telling them about like, this works, this doesn't work, try this, don't do this, it would stifle them. Like it would really like put all these, you know, mental, like this kind of barrier. And so what I learned there, and what I definitely learned doing stand-up or teaching stand-up, is don't talk too much and try to just be curious about what's going on inside of their head. So if someone's like writing a joke and I'm helping them with the joke either in class or whatever, most of the time I'm not even giving them punchlines or anything. I'm just asking them like, okay, well, what did the room look like? Or like, does your mom have a weird voice? Can you do her voice? Or not even does she have a weird voice? Because that's like a leading question. Like, what does your mom sound like? Or, you know, what does your mom do for a living? And is she single? And like, where does she live? And like, does she look anything like you? If so, I don't want to talk to her. But otherwise, maybe you could tell me the answers to the first questions. It's a lot of that, really.
It's the Socratic method.
Yeah, exactly. And Socrates, famous motherfucker. So it's him and Oedipus. But yeah, just, you know, you want to just be a good listener and, you know, try to really just, because usually what'll happen, I'll just say, is like people will be describing something honestly, and then as they're saying it, they'll like kind of like stumble upon this really hilarious, really personal thing, or they'll use like a weird analogy, and I'm like, there it is. Like just grab that. You like, it's like holding your hand in a river and just waiting for the fish to, and then you got it. You don't have to go and, you know, you don't have to, yeah. That's you don't have to get the harpoon gun or anything.
You tell Zivan's never fished. Well, you know, you just put your hand in the water and you just, you know, those fisher guys just grab them out and you just take a bite, you know?
Yeah, well, maybe a net. Maybe a net would help. But not a lot.
You
of
refer
effort.
to him as Mr. Hollywood, okay?
Yeah. However you blue collar types do it, I don't know.
I don't get it either.
I don't ask where the caviar comes from. I just eat it. I'm sure that's a similar process. You just tickle them. But yeah, it's made me more. You gotta listen.
Well, that's sick, man, dude. We really appreciate you being on the pod, man. Where can people find you?
Oh gosh, any number of places. Because I'm usually walking, but
and he'll be walking home today. So I don't know when this comes out, but it's really cold out there.
It's pretty lethal. Well, you can find me on Instagram. Obviously, I'm Zivan_Vasquez. You can find me on Substack, the Vast Squeeze. Just look it up and subscribe to my newsletter. And in the real world, I do a show at Bantha Tea Bar, about every 2 weeks or so, and I'm usually at Arcade Comedy Theater. So those are kind of my haunts.
Hell yeah, man! Ooh, get out! Look out for him. He's gonna
get out.
Get out!
That's actually
him.
what Ronnie says whenever he sees me. He's like, get out! I mean, Jordan Peele. I mean, Zivan. I mean, hello, hi. Do you want to do my podcast?
One of the two. You just pull a little string, and some of these things would come out of my mouth. So I started. You know, when you met me, I was just your average run of the mill. Bald white man, and as time has progressed, I've grown out my hair. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been growing a skullet, and I started growing it because I saw this movie, Love Lies Bleeding. Mm-hmm. Did you ever see this movie?
No, but I know who the guy
Ed Harris. Yeah, he had a skullet. He also had a six pack. I decided to grow the skullet.
Right.
And I remember growing it in the beginning, and it was sort of just like this funny thing. I was doing, let's grow it out, you know. But as time has progressed, I'm feeling like I don't know, like there's something. People get upset with it sometimes, and they always have something to say about it sometimes, you know. But it's also becoming a different thing too, where I think people are starting to respect it as well. And I'm kind of curious if there's anything in your life, you know, like other than comedy, that maybe your friends, your family, your loved ones were like, you know, Zivan, don't do this thing. But deep down, you're like, you know what? I've got to. Zivan, like, so my question is like, what is your skullet?
What is my skullet? Damn, that's a good question. The first thing that pops into my mind is such a small, trivial thing, but I really like to tuck in T-shirts into my shirt or into my.
I've noticed this, yes.
And It's like I've never had this thought before, but I'm like, I know this will catch on. Like, I know that we're going to be looking back and be like, wow, Zivan was really ahead of the curve on that. That's the only thing I've ever really thought about that way. And so that's my Skullet is tucking a t-shirt into pants with a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my...
Really, you're going to the beat of your own drum, because I have noticed it. I was like, he's a tucker.
I am a tucker. That's correct. There might be a disambiguation there, but yeah, no, that's. And you know what? The other day, someone I don't even know was like, "I like that."
Huh?
I was like,
"Yeah, you do something long enough.
You grow something long enough, and
yeah,
you just have to own it. You just have to be like, this is just what I'm wearing. That's how anything is, right? Someone just kind of decides to do that.
Right? Did you get any pushback in the beginning?
From the tucking, yes, lots of pushback. But I figured, you know what? Sun's still shining, birds still singing. I'm still tucking.
We were at arcade the other day, and I think you were wearing maybe that sweater.
Probably, yeah.
And you were in front of the whiteboard, and with like just the lineup, and you were addressing us all. And I felt like we were all kind of like high school basketball kids, and you were our teacher. Like, I feel like I was sitting on the floor, like wearing mesh shorts, looking up at you, and you're kind of like just kind of giving us a rousing speech about storytelling.
Oh God.
And I was like, this is you're like a type,
Yeah, I don't know if I intend to be sometimes, but sometimes I do like zoom out of my body and I do see myself doing what
I
I'm
zoom out of
doing.
my body and think about you too.
Yeah, it's like, that's who's been watching me. That's this like spectral form, kind of like, oh Jesus, Ronnie, I have to exorcise you from my house.
I'm pushing over all those comic books on top of you.
Stop it! Those are mint condition, please. It's. Which, by the way, I don't care about. I care about the condition of my comics, but I'm not one of those dudes that's like, this is gonna be like my nerd 401k in 30 years. It's not, that's not like my inheritance or anything.
Yeah,
I just wanted to dispel that myth.
I know people when we asked some questions like, do you have any questions for Zivan? And they're like, are you really gonna, do you put those comic books in plastic coverings?
Yes, but that's it. I don't have like a hermetically humidified.
I thought you were basically saying I don't wear condoms.
Oh, well.
That's it. I just put the condoms in plastic.
I probably pay more attention to the protection of my comic books than nope, never mind. It's, well.
Well, that was a story for another day, I think. Zivan just went into the past for a second. I definitely, he has a story, but does he want to share it on the podcast? Is that what he's thinking right now? Should I share this? Is this too close to home? Who is listening? Will she listen? Will my parents listen? Well, no, they don't listen to anything I do. I'm all alone in this life. They don't support me or my dreams of comedy. They want me to go to college and be a physicist. But no, look at me. I tuck them in my shorts because, why do I tuck in my shirt? Because that's what my father did. Oh no, am I becoming my dad? Absolutely not. All right. This has been the Skullet podcast. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Remember, folks, not all growth is good. Just keep it in the back of your head.